Good afternoon, all. A very warm welcome to all the attendees of this session. It's now time to introduce the speakers of the day. I start with Professor Gaurav Pushkarna, Deputy Dean, School of Computer Science and Engineering, Lovely Professional University. Having an experience of 18 plus years in this field, he is an eloquent orator as well. He has been guiding and helping students in choosing careers suitable to their interests. It, it has been always a great joy interacting with him. I welcome you, sir. We have with us Mr. Brijesh Kohli, Director and Head of Education Programs at Xavier Academy. He is enabling collaborative learning, fostering IT skills development and industry-ready talent through strategic partnership. We have Nurain Panchwani, Senior Consultant, Xavier Academy. He is an AWS certified solutions architect with 4+ years of experience in designing and developing cloud native systems and architectures. We have with us Mr. Pankaj Vij, Head Department of Tie-ups, Division of Admissions, Lovely Professional University. He'll be taking the queries regarding admissions. We also have with us our alumni, Mr. Namit Pathak, DevOps Engineer, Senior Specialist, Flux 7. It's now over to Professor Gaurav for content of the day.
Thank you, Professor Chopra. Thank you so much. Welcome all of you. I'll be introducing the agenda of the day, and then we'll be talking to the experts of this field. So the agenda of the day would include talking about this upcoming field, that is DevOps, okay, and how it is going to impact the IT industry in coming years. Okay, so we have certain experts with us who will be talking about it. Then we'll talk about the program that we have specifically, chartered in collaboration with the industry. Okay, that will be offering specifically for this purpose. And I'll be discussing the scheme that we have drafted, and then we'll be talking to the alumni who is also already working in this field, and he'll be giving you insights on what all is going on in the market, and for how long this technology is probably going to continue. So with this, I'll hand over the stage to Mr. Nurain Panjwani to take over the presentation and guide the students with the content of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Gaurav sir and Rishi sir. And thanks LPU for inviting me over. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really excited. Hopefully my screen is visible with the title slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Perfect. So I think the sirs have already introduced me, but so as they've mentioned, my name is Nurain. At Xavier, I head the COE of Kubernetes, which is one of the DevOps tools. And I've been got into set practices on DevOps, on Kubernetes, and things like that. But for you guys, you can call me your tech bud, right? Because that's who I aim to be today. I'm here to be your tech bud to guide you to this fascinating field of DevOps, right? So let's start. So I love to start with starting with some use cases from the real world, right? Before we actually dive into the substance. So let's just take some examples, right? Let's start with that. So let's start with the marvels, some good stuff which is happening in the industry, stuff like Iron Man of today's day and age, the good stuff, right? Let's just begin there. And the story I want to share with you is that there are 10,000 versions of Facebook out there, right? And I'm not talking about Facebook clones. I'm actually saying that Facebook has 10,000 versions active at any given point of time. I mean, I don't even open Facebook that often, and those many versions are out there. Now, the reason they do is, if you think about it, Facebook is a social network. they really gain when we spend more and more time on their platform. So they really need a mechanism, to build their platform way more addictive. And the way they do that is by running 10,000 versions, testing every small aspect. What buttons should work? What color should work? How should they display messages? How should they display notifications? Every little thing is being tested by Facebook. Imagine the importance for Facebook to have 10,000 active versions of running these tests. We might not have Facebook as such a big platform today if they weren't able to do that. And it's not just Facebook. If you think about it, if you used any website, if you use any web app, we constantly see some tiny changes happening. Like a few years back, we used to get really irritated by the number of updates we would get on Play Store, right? On Play Store and App Store. There are constantly things changing. What I'm trying to say is these companies need to continuously deploy new versions of their app in order to stay relevant, in order to grow. That's a part of their growth strategies these days, right? Let me repeat this. They need to continuously deploy, right? Ye yaad kar lo. Ye satya vachan hai, this is very important. We're going to be referring to this a lot. Companies today, the tech companies today are continuously deploying. But again, this is one good example, right? Some really good use cases, some really good tech stuff. But not everything is ribbons and balloons, right? There are some things which go wrong, right? And talking about mistakes and going wrong, let's talk about the DC universe. Because I'm not trying to say that Batman and Superman are not good, okay? I'm just saying they're not as good as Avengers. We can talk about that later. But the point is, like I said, not everything is perfect. Like there was a big blackout. Last year, I think in December, Google faced a massive outage, right? I'm not sure if you noticed, but Google, YouTube, and many apps using some of Google's services were just out for an hour. For 1 hour, we couldn't use Google. No Google searches, no YouTube. Right? And it was such a big incident. All the newspapers the next day, the big ones at least, were covering this. Like, are we overly dependent on Google? Like, just 1 hour just stopped our lives completely. And Namit, being a developer himself, will coming from the background, he'll agree that 1 hour of no Google is like, okay, let's take a chutti now. Okay, it's like vacation time, right? I can see a smile on his face right now. 1 day of Google outage would become concerning. Abhi tension ki baat ho gayi, yaar, Google not there for 1 day. 1 week of a Google outage means we are jobless because no work's going to happen. Everything is going to shut down, right? And this is not just Google which you're talking about. Even WhatsApp had a similar outage earlier this year, if I'm not wrong. Even WhatsApp was down. And you might be thinking, hey, just 1 hour, 15 minutes of downtime isn't that big a deal. But for companies like Amazon, even 1 minute of downtime costs them millions of dollars. And I'm not even exaggerating here. It's an official figure put out by the spokesperson of Amazon themselves, right? So what I'm trying to say is, while companies are continuously trying to deploy, each deployment they do, like imagine 10,000 deployments Facebook is doing, each deployment comes with a risk somewhere. Like if something goes wrong, we could have a global outage. Our businesses could suffer. So what I'm trying to say is, the tech world is balancing between two contradictory aspects. The first aspect is they continuously want to deploy new versions. They want to keep upgrading their applications. They want to keep moving forward, right? That's one of the major aspects they're trying to do. They're trying to change, right? Bring in change, continuously deploy, like I'm saying. But on the other hand, we want to make sure that every release or every deployment, every new version which goes out there needs to be reliable. Right? We don't want to break systems every time. And if you think about it, let's just spend a minute more here. Both of these are contradictory. They don't really go well together. On one hand, we are saying we need to continuously deploy, need to release new versions, which is change, right? Bringing in change. But on the other hand, we are saying that hey, it needs to be reliable, which is opposing change. So we see two mindsets, two separate mindsets, which are contradictory. But to be honest, this is the need of the hour. We say technology is one of the fastest moving industries, right? I'm sure you've heard of that. And the software which powers this needs to change to keep up with that technology revolution. but at the same time, it needs to be reliable too, right? These are some key observations without which nothing will work. Like even if you get fascinated by big data, maybe you get fascinated by AI, but if you can't keep up deploying new models, you can't keep deploying reliably, you can't make sure your system is up, what's the point of it anyways? So technology is trying to rest on the shoulders of something here, something to solve these problems for us. And guess what? Surprise, surprise. The solution is DevOps. Of course, that's the title of today's seminar, isn't it? But DevOps is trying to solve this. It's trying to shoulder this entire, expectations of the technology industry. In DevOps, in a nutshell, we're trying to use tools, we're trying to use software, we're trying to use automation. Sorry for that. We're trying to use all these things to deliver new features. I want to deliver these new features faster, right? And as I said, we want to deliver these features reliably as well. Those are the core tenets of DevOps. Now, you might learn many more tenets because this field is still maturing, but at a very foundation level, at a very fundamental level, this is the objective of DevOps, right? And we try to do this by increasing team and process efficiency, and I'll try to cover that. But as I said, these two features of going faster and being more reliable are contradictory. Hold that thought, because we're going to step back a little, and we're going to dive into some theory. I know it might be a little boring, but it's important. So bear with me, guys. So whenever we say that we want to deploy faster, what are we trying to say here? Like, what do we mean by faster, right? So that's where the life cycle comes in. Everything has a journey, right? You going to college is a journey. You coming online is a journey. Similarly, deploying software has a journey. It's called the software development life cycle. And it might be a little more complicated. I mean, I've tried to simplify it here, but more or less, mota, it's usually these components. We start by planning and coding, right? We think what we want to do and we code. We're techies, we love coding. Once we're done coding, we kind of test it, right? We want to test stuff, or we want to make sure it works. Then we deploy it. Once you know it works, you go and make it live for the world. You can be using, stuff like the cloud, or you could be doing anything else. But the idea is you want to take the code you've written, which you've written on your machine, your laptop, which you've tested, and you want to make it live for the world. That's what I mean by deploy, right? And finally, you monitor, because as I said, you want to make sure that there are no mistakes. And if there are, you want feedback. You want to constantly improve. If Facebook wasn't monitoring us, okay, that doesn't sound right. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Okay, let me rephrase. If Facebook wasn't monitoring its tech stack, if it was not monitoring how its different features and different versions are being perceived, it wouldn't be able to progress. So we take feedback, we monitor, then we go back to the drawing board, plan again, code, test, deploy. And this cycle keeps on moving forward. It's an infinite loop. It never stops, right? Constantly we are deploying new features, constantly we are running through new cycles. And when people say that they want to deploy faster now, what they're essentially saying is that they want to make this loop faster. They want to go from code to deploy and back to code much faster. And we cannot skip steps in the middle. We can't cheat here. Little more bits of theory. The code and test aspect, right? We can say that's done by the devs. It's not always the case, but generally, and Amit, you can always correct me if I go wrong, right? Mostly it's by the dev, coding, dev, testing, dev, we can say that, maybe some other guys, but let's stick with dev, right? These are the devs, okay? Deploy and monitor, that's the ops, right? Those are the guys who are running the operations, right? They need to make sure that we can deploy, they need to make sure it's up and running. Those are the operation guys or the ops guys. And like I said, there are two features, move fast and move reliably. Now you'll notice what's happening here. The devs want to move fast. The ops want to be stable, right? They want to do two things here. So what we're trying to say is the devs want change. They want to keep moving faster. They want to keep moving forward, while the ops want stability. They want to be sure that every change is well tested. In fact, they don't even want changes to happen, because moment you say there is change, you're technically saying that you're losing out on stability. There's a risk, right, with every deployment, like I said. And between these two ideologies stands the Great Wall, right? It's such a big wall. I mean, in IT, everybody's talking about it. This wall is like the biggest source of problems ever. In fact, this wall is so big, you can probably see it from the International Space Station. It's almost as big as the Great Wall of China, I guess. We need to get rid of this wall, right? And it's not as easy as just bringing these devs and ops guys together. Remember, ideologically, there's a difference, right? Some guys want change, devs want change, the ops guys want stability. They don't really go well together, right? So we need something more, okay? And to demonstrate this idea, to demonstrate this clash on how we can solve this, how we can unify them, how we can get a common ideology with both of them can agree on, let's take an example. And we're going to be engineers. Maybe we are already engineers. What do? We build stuff. So let's build things. And I have a bias here. See, when I was in college, like I graduated, like it's 2 years back, I always wanted this online attendance and online assignment system. My hands are still sore writing all assignments. Okay, I really want this. So for me, you have to make this app right now. So we are going to make an app, a simple ERP for colleges, like a college management app, let's call it. It can be Android, whatever, it doesn't really matter. We want 2 features. We want online attendance. We want online assignments. Simple. And remember, there were 4 stages, right? We developed, we tested, we deployed, and then we monitored. So we start with develop, and we're coding ninjas. I'm sure a lot of you are planning to even participate in hackathons and stuff. Like we go out 3 days in a row, no sleepless nights, and we just code, we code, and we code, right? And we finally build the app. We build the app, we put in a lot of hard work, we get it ready, right? And we're really proud of it. It's our baby after all. And now it comes to the next stage. We need to give it for somebody to test. And because we were making a college app, who better to test it than our professors, right? So our professors take it, they try it out, they run their use cases on it, they understand how it's going to be used really well, right? So they actually go in and they're trying to test our app, try to see if there are some aspects which we missed, maybe some features that we missed. We're not sure of that, but the idea is we need to get it tested. There might be some changes, right? We might have to, go back. We might have to make some changes to it, but eventually, it's gonna be done, right? Finally, we get the approval. Hey, this looks good. So what do? The testing is done. We deploy it. We make it live for the university level. We make it live maybe on the cloud. We've got 3 clouds floating there as well. Or maybe we just make it live on, in an intranet for the university. The point is, the university can now use it, right? They can now use it. They can now play with it. And it's done, right? Things are going well. Looks, everything is perfect. What's the problem here? Well, the monitoring kicks in, and what we realize is that after a few months, the professors notice a pattern. They find the attendance to be 100% for every class. Now, 90% of you are like, wow, this is all we wanted, right? I understand that. But we are devs, right? We are the people who created this app for now. Finding such errors in a production app means we don't get paid. And honestly, I want to get paid. I do want to get paid. So having errors like this is not good, right? And the root cause of all of these errors, like all of this mistake which just happened, is this cute guy. I mean, I know this guy looks cute. Just look at him. It's really cute. But this one little creature which is there in our code base all the time, takes away our weekends from us. It doesn't let us sleep at nights. It's just a mess, right? And the worst part is that you can't even get rid of this completely. Bugs and developers have this weird symbiosis going on between them. We can't live without each other. Wherever there are devs working, there are going to be bugs. And wherever there are bugs, you bet there's going to be a dev there. They go together. And we need to learn how to live with them. And when I say live with them, I mean squash them to death. Okay, that became a little dark. Okay, maybe we should step back. But the idea is, right? The idea is somewhere in our process, right? We seem to do everything right. We develop, we put in our heart and soul. We even got it tested, we even deployed, it seemed to work great. Where was the problem? where did we go wrong, right? There must be something wrong, right? And if I think of it, how 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 can we improve all of this? There's something we need to do now to make sure that we minimize the chances of this happening. One thing which comes in my mind is that testing could be a big problem for us, because obviously our testing phase missed out this bug, right? And it was a big hack which happened. So our testing needs to be made more powerful. And a good way we could do it is to write some code to find bugs in our code. So we write some code to test our application, right? We write some code to test our app. As simple as that. Now I know what you're thinking. Some of you are going to be like, who's going to find the bugs in that code? Let's not go there. Okay, we're stepping ahead. But the idea is that we're introducing some tooling. We are introducing some technology, some software to help us in one of the phases which we just thought of, the testing part. Manual testing is always going to be human error prone, right? We want to avoid that. So let's introduce some software for it. Another thing could be our monitoring system should be faster, right? We caught this bug, but we should have caught it as soon as possible so that we can, take a step back and fix the error as soon as possible. Again, we can't have a human sitting there 24/7. We need some software which can monitor our app, detect there has been a breach, there has been some error somewhere, and it informs us so that we can make the right choice. In other words, we took our process and we said that maybe here in our test phase and in our monitor phase, we can introduce some tooling, we can introduce some software, right? We can introduce some code. You see what we're doing here? We're taking the process which we just followed. We noticed that, hey, there are some gaps here. Maybe there's something we can do better. And we came up with the idea that, hey, maybe we can use software to make the testing and monitoring stages better. So what we just did is that we took dev and we put it in ops, right? And we're thinking of ops while we do dev. You see what's happening here? This is something weird. So now nobody's thinking of deploying stuff faster. Nobody's thinking of stability. We're taking a process, we're identifying some problems, and we are using our developer minds. We are using software, we are using code, which we're great at, to make the ops part easier. So we're introducing dev in ops. And that's what DevOps is all about, right? It's trying to change the mindset of how we are trying to do things. So there's no two different groups, one trying to get in change, one trying to resist change. We don't want to do that anymore. Instead, we all want to work together to take a process and make it so good, make it so reliable that the thought of things breaking doesn't even cross our mind, because we trust the process so well, we trust our tooling so well that we know that even if there was an error, we'll be able to catch it in time. We'll be able to solve it before somebody even notices that there's a bug out there. Now, I know this might be a bouncer, right? I said too many things. We went too fast. Let's step back, and probably I'm even running out of time here. So let's speed up a bit as well. What I'm trying to say is, as a DevOps guy, my job is to find processes. There's processes everywhere, right? There was a process when you want to go for an Avengers game. There's a process when Facebook wants to deploy 10,000 versions. There's a process for everything we do in our lives. My job as a DevOps guy, or your job as a DevOps guy, would be to identify the bottlenecks, to identify what doesn't look right, what can be made better, what can we do better, and how we solve this. Once we identify, we introduce some software, we introduce some automation, we introduce some new processes to make it even better. And this journey is the DevOps journey. I really hope some of this makes sense. That I've been clear in trying to explain what the DevOps mindset is, what the DevOps practice is, and what a DevOps guy actually does. Quick comparison, wouldn't take more than a minute or two. You might be thinking that, hey, this DevOps guy seems to be writing some code as well. Even these developer guys seems to be writing some code. What's the difference between two? Like, any developer can be a DevOps guy and vice versa. Yes, that is true. I started my career as a developer myself. But let's draw some boundaries here. The major focus of developers is to write those applications, to make that college app which we spoke about. Their task is primarily doing that. The DevOps guys, on the other hand, are writing code to make the processes more streamlined. They're writing code to smooth out the deployment cycle, smooth out the testing, and make things more reliable, automate things. So you see where they're working. A developer is trying to write an app. A DevOps guy is trying to go for the processes. The tools a developer would be using, the primary tools would be, things like Java, things like Node.js, Golang, whatever these tools are. Probably even using databases. This is what their life revolves around. This is their bread and butter. For a DevOps guy, on the other hand, they are writing code, but it's not things like Java. Okay, it's not like a programming language what we are used to. It's not C, C++, right? They're writing code on specialized software. They're writing code on things like Kubernetes. They're writing code on things like Jenkins. Now, I know this might sound fascinating. Hey, we really want to know more about it. We want to see how Facebook does things. We want to get our hands dirty. And obviously, the future panelists will cover, the courses and the material which will get you here. My job is just to give you an idea where the line of DevOps is, what the mindset is, and how the world is dependent on DevOps. And like developers, DevOps have stages as well. You have junior DevOps guys, you have senior DevOps guys, and you have architects. Like how you do in developers, right? You start like a junior developer, you become a senior, and then you become an architect. And that's how it works in DevOps too. On the lowest, in my experience, I've seen the lowest package a junior entry-level DevOps guy usually gets is around 5 lakhs. Again, this is not a benchmark. This is the minimum I've seen. And it can go all the way up till 25 and even more than that. In fact, if you're an architect who's seasoned, who's got some years of experience down the belt, trust me, the number is double what you see on your screen right now. It's in demand. Every company needs to do it. Be it Google, be it Amazon, be it anybody. Everybody needs to deploy applications faster, even if it's not public facing. They need to do it, and it's one of the hottest fields out there. Like I said, you can't really benefit with the power of AI or power of big data and fancy things like that unless you have a team which can reliably deploy this, and that's what the DevOps guys does. So thank you guys. Like I said, I hope this was helpful. I hope cleared out some concepts. You can obviously find me on Twitter. I am your tech bud. Remember, if you like the content you see right now, if you like the way I explain and stuff, you can obviously check out my YouTube channel as well. I make a lot of videos on DevOps and microservices and things like that. So feel free to check that out, and feel free to reach out on LinkedIn. It's Nurain Panjwani. I'm sure people will be sharing coordinates as well. So that's it from my side. Maybe we can ask some questions, or over to you again, Gaurav.
That was very good insight, delivered in pretty interesting and impressive way, I'll say. Thank you so much, Mr. Nurain.
I'm so happy to be here as well. Thank you.
So in case we have certain questions, or we can move forward with the further course of this agenda.
Yes. We can take up the questions all together after you finish up, Professor Gaurav.
All right. Thank you so much. You can give presentation rights to Mr. Namit.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Hi, Namit.
Hello, sir. Okay.
All right.
Hello.
Just wait.
Okay.
So I think Namit is 2013 to 17 batch, right? Namit?
Correct, sir. Yeah.
And I think I've taught you in first year.
Yeah. First year, first semester.
First semester, yeah. And by the end of the first year, actually, he was the guy who was already into freelancing, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct, sir.
So he is pretty enthusiastic as far as programming is concerned. And in 2017, when his batch ended, we didn't had these courses in our curriculum. We could recognize the presence of this system in somewhere around 2016, 2017. So we introduced this thing, DevOps as engineering minor from 2017 onwards, but that was just a set of 4 courses that we used to offer till 2020. And in 2021, we are offering a full-fledged program which will be covering a lot of courses of DevOps. So what we'll do is we'll invite Namit to give us insight on this technology, as he's right now working in this field. Namit, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Uh, Hello, everyone. And first of all, thank you so much, Gaurav sir and Rishi sir, to give me this opportunity. It's a very happy moment for me that I'm back to this LP family to give some, insight and help for my fellow friends. Okay, so hey, as you know, my name is Ahmed, and I'm working as a DevOps specialist and Flux 7. So I would like to first of all, I would like to give some insights like what exactly we are doing and how DevOps is exactly working in the industry. So I have just 10 minutes with me, so I'll be a little faster. So I'll take an example from what my friend Naren said. That so let's say we have this you know app which is there for the college, and he talks about the bug which was there, like the 100% attendance, right? And as we know that we need 75% attendance minimum to sit in the exams and LPU, am I right? So I'll give you a little insight more deeply, like how exactly we are doing that. So as my friend Noreen mentioned that we are doing code and then we are doing ops. So I'll just virtually give you how exactly this thing is working, right? So I hope like most of you guys have worked with GitHub, if I'm not wrong, that's a version control. And Nurain mentioned about Jenkins. So let's virtually take an example that we are a group of 5 people who are working on a project in our college, and we created an app, and now we have application with us. And now, because we are 5 people and we don't want that we work on a single person is working on a single feature, another person is working on a single feature. So let's just virtually understand how exactly we are working in the industry, to make this application working, and to share this application with the college so that they can also use the same application. So let's say we have written a code and we have put that code into the GitHub, right? And now from that GitHub, my tool, which is Jenkins, right? As Naren mentioned, Jenkins. So let me give you a brief about Jenkins, just a little brief. That it's a central machine which is actually responsible for the automation, taking your code, deploying it into some kind of machine, so that another people, all the set of people which is there in the college can use your application. So let's say you put your code on the GitHub, and then this particular Jenkins will take that code and automatically it will deploy your code into some machines, and it will open that machine to the other people outside sitting in the college so that they can use their application, right? So this is how, as Naren mentioned, we are doing automation on a daily basis in the industry. So there is no manual work at all. The only manual work in the industry is writing the process. As Naren mentioned, that we have a different set of processes, taking the code, building it, testing it, and then deploying it, and again monitor it, right? So this is all done through the automation, through the process, and we are using various tools in the organizations as well, right? So Jenkins being one of them to create this automation. So Jenkins, so let's again take this example virtually. We have the code in GitHub. We take that code, Jenkins will take that code, it will build it, it will test it, it will deploy it, and finally it will put it on some system so that we can use that app, right? So this is exactly what we are doing in the industry on a daily basis. We as a DevOps engineer are responsible, to create all the processes, to create all the code, to create all the automations which is there right now as a part of the DevOps, right? So if let's say if you are interested into DevOps, and you are going to be a very critical person in the industry, because I'll say infrastructure, the system where you are deploying this code, the stability, the reliability, which Nurain mentioned about, right? This is very important, because we cannot afford a single minute downtime when we are working, right? So it accumulate a huge losses to the companies. So that's why DevOps is very important in any organization, being it from the multinational companies to the startup, because they need to be reliable 100%. They need to be available. They need to be they cannot have a single minute downtime. So in such a small interval, I can just tell you this, that yeah, industry is exactly doing as Nurain mentioned. We are doing everything using automation. There is process everywhere. There are multiple tools which we are using across the organization, and DevOps is being the critical part of it. DevOps is the person who is mainly responsible for all the processes, the code for all the processes, as well as for a little bit he needs to understand the dev part as well, right? So this is what exactly I am doing right now in the organization. I would like to give a little bit effort for being like what happened when I was there in the college. So there was no specialized courses for the DevOps, right? So at that particular time, I was reading an article on a newspaper. Suddenly, I found the top 10 stacks, and there I found AWS, that is Amazon Web Services. So that's where the trigger point for me that I want to join the cloud stream. But I was not aware of the DevOps field at that time, and that's somewhere I left behind when I started. I joined the industry and I started this. But now I think when as Gaurav sir mentioned that they are drafting this, the specialization for you, that I think I believe this is one of the greatest thing that LPU is doing for you, and the specialization is going to help you a lot. I'll not say that the old school knowledge is not important. Again, the same thing that Linux, networking, and all the things which you have in your daily semester is very important. But I think when this specialization will come into your courses, then it will give you an extra edge when you join the industries. You already know you'll already know the knowledge of these tools which we are using daily in the industries, day by day, for the DevOps as well as for all the other things, right? When I joined the industry, I was totally new to them, and it took me more than 6 months to understand how exactly this thing, because this is a new industry, and almost everyone is trying to change the manual process to this DevOps process. So I think this is going to be this is not a pickup field. This is already there in the market, and I think this DevOps practice is there to stay in the market. So I'll say that please do keep focus on this specialization, and I hope most of you will take this specialization, because this is going to be a big factor in your career. So I think you should take this, and that's it. I think you can take any help from me if you want. As alumni, I'm always ready, to help you guys whenever you want to be. And thank you so much. If you have any question, you can put that, or you can ask them here as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Namit. I think we'll be taking questions from the audience at the end. But just a quick question from my side. How long do you think this technology is going to be in the market? Like, can students plan their long-term career in this field?
Sure, sir. So I'll say I don't have the exact figure for how long it's going to stay, but I will say that in the upcoming future, in the near future, this technology is there to stay. Not done the technology, this practice, because everyone need. There are developments all over there, but we need infrastructure to deploy that code, right? Everyone need infrastructure, and DevOps is a practice which is basically helping us to maintaining that infrastructure, to creating that infrastructure. And as the cloud industry is becoming bigger and bigger day by day, so DevOps is becoming more reliable, because now not only DevOps practice, but if we include the cloud as well in that DevOps practice, it will make a huge impact on the industries. Right now, we can say that 80% of the industries are still not, moved to DevOps. So there is a huge scope for them as well. 20% industries are already, according to the statistics, have been moved to DevOps. And day by day, the big giants, or might be a small scale startup, they all need a proper, reliable infrastructure to deploy their apps, to scale them, to secure them. And cloud, including this DevOps practice, is providing us on a very little cost, as well as on a very little efforts. So I'll say this field, please correct me, Nurain and Brajesh, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it's going to stay. It's going to stay for a while, not for a while, for a very, very long time, because people are moving to it, industries are moving to it daily. On the daily basis, we are seeing that open source tools are coming in the market. So I'll say that I don't have the exact figure again, but I'll say this practice, this DevOps practice, is there to stay in the market.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Namit. So with this, we'll be inviting. Can you mute yourself, Namit or Rishi sir? I think somebody's mic is. Okay. So what we plan to do is we have chalked out a program structure. We have created new program, and we are doing it in collaboration with Zabbia, which is uh, a pioneer company as far as DevOps is concerned. So I'll invite Mr. Brijesh here to give us some insight on Zabbia. Mr. Brijesh, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gaurav. I hope I am audible.
Yes, you are loud and clear.
Perfect. Let me just quickly share my screen. Please confirm once you see my screen.
Yes, we are seeing your screen, but you need to put it into slideshow mode, I suppose.
I have done that, sir. If is it visible now?
No, slideshow mode is not visible. I think you must have uh, shared just a window instead of the entire screen. That is why it is happening. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
In case you do it like entire screen, then possibly this problem will not come.
Is that visible, sir, now?
Uh, yes, it is visible, but not in slide. Yeah, perfect.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Gaurav, and good evening, everyone. I hope you all are safe and healthy. I mean, you and your family members. I know it's a tough time for everybody, and I really hope and pray that we come out of this situation soon and go back to our normal life. I completely understand how it feels, for us not going to the college, because college is not just studies, but it's also a lot of fun, and especially when you go to universities like LPU. I mean, that's a completely different experience. I mean, the kind of infrastructure, campus, the atmosphere that you have in LPU, and it really feels quite exciting. And I sometimes feel that had it been me, I would have loved to probably study at LPU, a few times when I visited the campus. But I really hope and I pray that you guys go back to your normal life and obviously have all that fun. I think at least 1 year would be striked off, from your college diaries. But I think the remaining 3 years hopefully will be, with a full bang, a lot of learning and obviously a lot of excitement. So having said that, thank you so much, for attending this webinar. Quickly, my name is Brijesh Kohli, and I'm leading the education practice of Zebia, which is called Zebia Academic, Zebia Academy. So Zebia is basically a Netherlands-based IT consultancy group. We are headquartered in Amsterdam, and then we have our operations globally. We are a pure play IT services company that specializes into digital transformation. I mean, all the latest and new technologies that you hear today, Zebia is actually, operating in that space. So we work on all new and latest technology stack, right from data, AI, DevOps, full stack, clouds, cybersecurity, COEs, like Kubernetes, different kinds of tools. So we do, day in and day out. I mean, we are a team of about 3,500 techies spread across the globe. I mean, all the people, the techies working with us, people like Nurain, these are people who really, sleep with technology and are passionate about, this whole technology stuff. So we basically give this platform to anybody who wants to, who aspire to become a good techie in their career. We give this opportunity to come work with us and probably, learn and grow, with various technologies. I mean, Zebia is amongst, very few organizations who actually work on, these latest technology stack. I mean, whatever we're doing, we wanted to make sure that we are ahead of the curve. So we, keep innovating new technologies, futuristic technologies, and then we bring them to our customers. I mean, we are a team of, we are a group of, I think, about 9 companies now. Now, these are different companies that specializes into different technologies. So we have companies like CoData driven, which is headquartered in Netherlands, and it's primarily a data engineering and a data science focused company. So we work with our customers in bringing all those expertise and specialists in these technologies through Go Data Driven. Zevia Labs was one of our products which we sold last year, which was actually #1 in Gartner and Forrester, for DevOps automation. I don't know if you've heard about Excel deploy and Excel release. These are basically deployment automation and release orchestration tools. And if you know about DevOps, just like Nurain and Amit talked about, it's all about automation. So you use different kinds of tool, basically, to make your work faster, accurate, and reliable. So that's where uh, tools like Excel deploy, or there are others like Jenkins, Kubernetes, Docker, everything is right there. And you will be learning all these tools, how to use these tools, and probably make your applications of your software become more accurate and reliable. ZBA Academy, just a quick introduction about the education practice. It's basically a bridge between Zevia and our university partners. I mean, this whole industry and academic collaboration with universities started a couple of years ago when we were hiring a lot of students from these colleges. What was really happening when we were going in for campus recruitment, we were actually getting access to a lot of good talent, but unfortunately, there was a gap, and the gap was that the students who were the best, in the college with regards to their academics and also their tech understanding, we saw a gap that they still need to be coached, in order to make them, in our language, call it as product ready or project ready. It was actually taking us good 6 to 9 months for us to kind of let people learn some of these tech stacks like DevOps, full stack, AI, and then probably deploy them on products or deploy them on projects. So we decided, with some of the universities that we are going to bring all of this technologies to the students, who are undergoing computer science engineering. We will teach them right from the time they enroll into a course, and by the end of the course, we would expect them to be absolutely ready to hit the project right from day one when they join the organization. And this methodology works, this idea works superbly, great. And we started with a few universities, and we introduced some of these courses, and we call it as a specialization. I mean, if I really compare my college days versus the opportunities that student gets now to kind of learn a lot of these specialization, I think it's a great opportunity. One of the questions that Dr. Push Gaurav asked, whether this technology is going to stay, for the next few years. I mean, honestly, technologies are evolving very fast. By the time you'll be in your fourth year, you'll probably see a completely new version or completely new development happening in the DevOps space. But it will be our responsibility to ensure that you kind of learn, and by that time you are moving out, everything that's there in that particular specialization. But I think overall, specialization is a great opportunity for anybody who wants to learn and grow in their career. A little bit about Zebia, I mean, like I said, we are a tech company. There are different COEs or different practices that we have as a part of our organization. We are an agile company. I mean, whatever we do, we practice agile methodology. And you'll be very happy to know once you enroll in this course. Agile methodology is going to be, the way forward for you. I mean, even in your academic or your daily learning, you will see agile and scrum methodologies kicking in for you to kind of understand how you really work in an agile environment. I mean, all the scrum boards, daily meetings, all that stuff will be a part of it. In fact, we're talking to LPU where we might structure your classrooms into an agile infrastructure or an agile environment. So that basically prepares you while you learn and you get ready for the industry. And then there are many other practices. DevSecOps, I mean, like I said, technology is evolving. Now DevOps have moved into DevSecOps, site reliability engineering. These are, the changes that are coming in, and Sec stand for security. So again, there are a lot of elements coming in different technologies, and every 6 months you see a major upgrade happening or some development happening. So I mean, all I can say that you'll have to make sure that whatever you're doing, you'll have to invest a lot of time in upgrading yourself throughout the course. So it can't be that you could do this course and you're done for it. I mean, you'll have to ensure that you cross skill yourself on various technologies. Cloud, happens to be one of the buzzword today. I mean, there are three major providers: AWS, Azure, Cloud, Google Cloud. So, I mean, ZBI is partners with all three of them. So we work with our customers in implementing these cloud services for our customers. Then our data science and data engineering practice, that's another, very popular, I mean, that's another field altogether. So since I have limited time, so I'll do this a little quickly. So ZBA works with, customers across the globe. We work with banking and financial customer. I mean, you name it, and we work with them. We are the services partner in terms of doing software development or managed services or quality or testing. I mean, whatever. There is a complete proposition that we do as a part of our tech services. And then we have aviation clients, we have retail customers, we have manufacturing. I mean, we're across the various industry sectors. ZBA is having, I think, offices pretty much in all major country. We are there in US, we are in UK, Poland, Netherlands, France, Middle East, which is in Dubai, and we're opening up in Saudi now. We have three offices in India, which is Bangalore, Pune, Gurgaon. We're coming up with another office in Hyderabad. In India, we're a team of about 1,500 people, which are spread across this location, and then globally, it's about 3,500 now. We're going for a very aggressive acquisition as we speak. So we're actually acquiring more and more company that specializes into various technologies just to kind of strengthen our capabilities on various emerging tech space. This is one of the office for Zebia in Gurgaon. That's our India headquarter. So if you look at the bottom right of my screen, you'll probably see the Zebia office. This is the agile environment. We don't have cabins. We don't have any barriers for anybody to interact. I mean, we don't have really a lot of restrictions about dress code and all till the time you are professionally dressed. So we want to do our people to feel free when they come to office. Have a very open and a very dynamic environment. And we don't put any barriers because that's the core for agile and the DevOps methodology. So what do you get? I mean, like Dr. Gaurav mentioned that this year we have introduced a specialization for computer science engineering students in the area of DevOps. So this is cloud and DevOps together. So the program has been structured in a way where we have embedded this technology as a part of your curriculum itself. So every semester, maybe one or two subjects, will be focused on DevOps, and you will be mentored by the experts from, Zebia, who will be teaching this specialization to you. The beauty of this course is that Zebia experts or the practitioners are going to be the teachers for you when it comes to DevOps and the cloud, in this area. And you will get access to a mentor. So obviously, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, you can go approach the mentor and get your doubts and queries resolved. The entire program, it's quite hands-on, so you will be working most of the time on building applications or maybe on a real-time project. And whatever you learn, as a part of the training session or the classroom, you will be applying those concepts to your project. So, and then you will be assessed by the work that you do on the project. So there are different ways of assessment in the form of hackathon, in the form of actually the projects that you're working on, and then obviously your exams, which could be objective, it could be subjective. So the whole engagement is going to be quite intense. Not in terms of it's going to be very, very aggressive. I mean, it will help you to learn, and we will be there to mentor you at every step. The beauty of this partnership is that Zebia will be monitoring your progress at every step and giving you progress, feedback which you can incorporate. And by that time you graduate out of this program, you become ready. Zebia, is hungry, to hire students from these courses. So we will be monitoring you throughout the course to really see your performance. and you will definitely be extended an opportunity to do internship with Zebia. There's an evaluation criteria. Not everybody would be able to qualify, but you definitely get that opportunity to prove your mettle and get into Zebia to do the internship on a real project. At the same time, you will be given internship opportunities with our customers. I mean, the customers that we are working across the globe are looking for skilled and talented people like yourself, and we would be helping them in getting access to this talent through this partnership. So you will be seeing a lot of companies coming in who will be requiring talent who are skilled in cloud and the DevOps space. And again, the compensation varies for every company. So you will probably, seeing a lot of companies coming in with varied, compensation packages. It could start from anywhere between maybe 5 lakh, 5.5 lakh to maybe 25, 30 lakhs. So it all depends on your caliber. It depends on how you really do that, in the interview. But Nurain and Namit would probably agree with me that that there is no limitation for the right talent. I mean, if you know this space pretty well, then you probably get yourself attracted to a very good job and a compensation. Our job is to make sure that you get the right learning, you get the right talent, the skill set to work on these technologies. Obviously, you will have to put a lot of efforts in making sure that you're able to do this. Zebia will also be, helping you get recognized by, enrolling into some internationally recognized DevOps certifications. There are a few certification bodies that maintain DevOps standards globally, like a DevOps Institute in US. They have DevOps certifications at the foundation and intermediate level. Then there is another body called DASA, which is DevOps and Agile Skill Association based out of Netherlands. We will also be helping you go through that certification. And DASA is owned by Zebia. I mean, as in, we are the ones who have written the exam content for that certification. Throughout this program, maybe very quickly, you will be going through, through a journey where you will be mentored and provided everything that you need in terms of, the learning materials. So you will be getting access to our learning management system, which hosts, a repository of, various, materials in the form of ebooks. So you will be getting a student ebook for every semester, the topic that you're going to learn. So this will be available online and offline to you. I mean, you can download the app and then get access to that content. We also provide you access to labs, so you can actually practice a lot of those labs in your local machines offline. You will be getting internship support. We'll be giving you projects. And then obviously you will be getting access to a mentor. So there will be a expert who will be monitoring and who will be delivering this course. So you'll always have an opportunity to interact with that person should you have any doubts or questions. And throughout this course, you'll be probably seeing a lot of CXO level classes happening. I mean, very senior folks from the industry is going to talk to you, maybe online, or if the opportunity permits, we can do offline as well, where people can come meet you in the classroom and then kind of help you understand what's really happening. This is again some of the, this is just a quick glimpse of, the DevOps, course that we have. So these are, various subjects. Like I said, this is the learning management system. You get access to that. Towards the end, you will be getting, a digital badge, which is basically, a kind of an e-credential for you to, really tell to the world that you are, a specialist in this particular technology. So you will be getting, a digital badge which you can showcase on social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and it will also act, as a e-certificate for you should anybody wants to, identify if you really have done this. And Zebia will be providing that platform to you where you can actually showcase the world that you have excelled, or you have successfully completed the DevOps course with Zebia and LPO. last slide. Throughout the course, you will be going through a series of engagements. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. So Campus Ambassador, it's a great opportunity for anybody, who wants to really enjoy this journey. So the role of a Campus Ambassador is to kind of manage, the larger student base at the university. We call this as, you have monitors in the class. So these are basically the monitors. You'll be representing Zebia, on various forums, on various platforms, and then we will be helping you build, whatever skill set and, competencies that you need in order to be proficient here. Again, there will be a lot of knowledge repository and things that will be shared with you in the form of quarterly newsletter. We do a lot of tech talks that, you will be shared so that you can learn what's really happening in different technologies. You'll also be given opportunities to showcase your talent on our platform, which we can potentially show it to the larger world in the tech space through, events like XeCat. And then, there are many fun events in the form of, Zebia Conclave or Annual Fest or hackathons, all that. So we continue, doing all of that to make sure that you're engaged, throughout the next 4 years of your journey. And we have graduated a few batches with other university, and I think it has been a great journey and a great learning experience with everybody who's kind of now working in the industry. So you guys are basically going to be Zebia ambassadors once you actually come to the industry. So we want to make sure that you have the right skill and the right talent so that anybody can actually should not doubt about, the learning that Zebia has done. So we would really ensure that you really prove it while you go through this course. Um, ZBI Innovation Labs, again, this is just a quick, we're going to set up a COE within the university on software development, software engineering practices, where we're going to bring in a lot of problem statements from, the industry and give it to you to really work on those problem statements. So you do a lot of research, you innovate, you actually, maybe go for patents also, in many of these. So this is going to be a lot of exciting stuff that you'll probably see once you hit the course and you start working with the faculty and the experts from ZBR. So, why you should join this course? It's future ready. DevOps is going to stay for long. I can really vouch on that, and you can do some research on Google. What's really the future of DevOps? You learn from the practitioners. You get internationally recognized certifications. You work on hands-on projects. Hands-on learning through live projects. We bring our learning platform, which is Instruct, Digital Learn, everything for you to kind of get handy to really make yourself equipped in that space. So that's really, from my side. If you have any questions, about the course, about Zebia, about this whole academic alliance program, you'll also find me quite active on LinkedIn, and I'll be very happy to, connect with you should you need any further details. But I really wish you, and I really pray that this pandemic comes to an end soon, and you get an opportunity to go back to your colleges and to the universities very soon. Thank you so much. Over to you, Dr. Gaurav.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brajesh. Over to you, Mr. Rishi.
Yeah, I would like to call quickly Mr. Pankaj Vij to just give a quick insight into what next for the students, those who wish to continue with this program. Yeah, over to Mr. Pankaj Vij.
Right. Thank you, Professor Rishi. And I'll just present my slide. I hope my screen is visible, Professor Rishi.
Yeah. Perfect.
Great. So, I like to start on tone that it was a very thought-provoking address by the experts talking about the technology, and it would have facilitated the students to take up the program or think about it or contemplate upon taking this particular program for the future. I just want to change the mood of the entire session for a moment, and I want to share this thing with all the attendees who are in the session right now. And we are celebrating, we are commemorating this thing with the entire nation today, that we at LPU have got 11 flag bearers who are representing us at the prestigious Tokyo Olympics 2020. So these 11 brave hearts are fighting out for the top laurels amongst the world's best at the Tokyo Olympics 2020, and we proudly say that they are a product of LPU, and these are the kind of people that we produce, no matter it's academics, no matter it's sports, no matter it's any other thing. So this is the kind of brand ambassador, these are the kind of brand ambassadors that we built for the nation, and what you see is what you get. These people are fighting for the top laurels at the Tokyo Olympics. Anyhow, let me just go ahead. What next? We were talking about what next. Now I've got a lot of audience over here who would be thinking of joining this particular program, or probably there would be people who have joined the program and now they would be thinking of shifting to this particular program. So I'm just going to tell you as to how exactly you got to go about it. The name of the program that we were talking about, experts spoke it inside out, so I need not talk much about it. They talked about it pretty comprehensively. The name of the program is BTech Computer Science and Engineering Cloud-Based DevOps Automation in tie-up with Zebia, and we had Mr. Brijesh who very exceptionally told about the Zebia as a company. Talking about the program, the duration of the program, obviously, since it's a BTech program, it happens to be 4-year program with a total of 8 semesters in it. The eligibility criteria, the prerequisites of joining this particular program is that a student should have passed his 10+2 examination with 60% marks in aggregate, and should have studied physics, mathematics, and English as compulsory subjects. And once again, there's yet another prerequisite, which is LP-NEST exam. The student should have taken our LP-NEST exam, which is Lovely Professional University National Entrance and Scholarship Test. The student should have cleared this particular exam, and once the student has cleared this exam, then the person is eligible for taking admission to this particular program. As a matter of fact, any BTech program at LPU. So that's the eligibility criteria. Moving on, fee and scholarship. Well, money matters, and this is what I'm going to talk about right now. Largest scholarship scheme in India is being offered by LPU. A whooping 500 crores worth of scholarship has been distributed till now. 60,000 of our students have been benefited in the last 7 years by this scholarship scheme, and over 61% of the students currently are studying at scholarships or on scholarships at LPU. Talking about the fee structure, the base fee structure of this particular program is 1,50,000 per semester, but there are numerous scholarships that we are offering, and the scholarships are as follows. Anybody scoring 80 to 89.99% of marks either in the 10th standard or in 12th standard, or is amongst the cutoff 3 of our LP-NEST exam, is in for a 20% scholarship, and the fee goes down to 1,20,000 per semester, and the scholarship amount will be 30,000. Moving on, if somebody scores 90 to 94.99% of marks either in 10th standard or in 12th standard, or is amongst the LP-NEST cutoff 2 of our exam, the student is in for a 25% scholarship. The fee goes down to 1,12,500 per semester. Last but not the least, anybody scoring more than 95%, that is greater than or equal to 95% marks either in 10th or in 12th, or is amongst the LP-NEST cutoff 1 of our exam, then there's a 30% scholarship. Fee goes on to 1,05,000 per semester. It's worth mentioning over here that the scholarship, once administered to a student, will stay the same way throughout the duration of the program, that is 4 years and 8 semesters on the trot. Application process, people who are aspiring to join this process and still have not taken admission, that's the way forward. Simple steps, 5 minutes of sitting in front of your computer or maybe your smartphone, and the things are done. All you need to do is log into admissions.lpu.in, admission.lpu.in. First step, sign in. Next step, fill up the LPU-NEST form, because it's the prerequisite. You have to clear this exam. So in step 2, you fill up the LPNS form. Step 3, you book the slot for the exam. Like you can give this exam in the vicinity of your home. So you can choose a date, choose a time, and appear for the exam sitting at your home. It's a proctored exam, artificially intelligent oriented exam that you would be sitting at your home and giving. And the last step would be, if you qualify this particular exam, which I'm quite sure you would, you take admission. So it's hardly a process, 4 steps, and you're in. People who have already taken admission now, they are aspiring to join this particular program. Moving on to this particular program from the erstwhile program, all they need to do is they log on to their dashboard, proceed to the post admission services tab, and they move on to the program transfer tab, which is embarked in the red color. Once they click it, the next screen will ask the bare minimum qualification that they have, which would be 12th. Then they choose their discipline, which obviously would be engineering. Moving forward, the stream, obviously computer science and engineering. And up there you have this program, which is BTech Computer Science and Engineering, cloud-based DevOps automation tie-up with Xebia. Select it. We'll take your request, and in the next 2 to 3 days at the max, your program would be transferred. So all those people who have already taken admission, that's the way forward to move to this particular program. And you can always write to us, you can visit us, you can call us. The way forward would be www.lpu.in. That's the place that you visit us. admissions@lpu.co.in. That's the place you write to us, and you can always call us at 1-800-102-4407. You can take a screenshot of the slide, will be helpful in the future. That's all from my side. Over to you, Professor Rishi.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pankaj, for giving a quick insight into the scholarship. A little bit of talking about money was really important, and of course, the what next part. Can I have Professor Gaurav on screen? Professor Gaurav, do we have any other content to be delivered before I sign off?
No, I think we are done for the day.
So all the queries, those who are in front of me, will be definitely answered through email. All the attendees, we ensure you will be getting the answers to your queries through email in a short while. So I would be ending this session by saying, experts, your years of research, your depth of understanding the topic, and your ability to present the topic in such an interesting way produced one of the most wonderful afternoons for all the attendees. On behalf of all the attendees of this webinar, I want to thank you for your insightful presentation. Hopefully, the attendees also found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information provided by the experts to help take a better decision regarding your admissions. I'm obliged and once again thankful to all the experts for strengthening this platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.